Let me ask you a question, brother. Have you ever been around a woman and wondered, does she like me? Or is she just being friendly? That confusion, that frustration has driven millions of men crazy. Some men overthink it, others ignore the signs completely, and end up missing the one chance they had. But here's the truth, when a woman secretly loves you, she cannot hide it. She may not say it out loud. She may not confess it directly, but her actions, her patterns, her psychology will reveal the truth. And today, I'm going to expose the 7 undeniable signs that a woman secretly loves you. If you learn these signs, you'll never again waste time on women who don't care, and you'll never again miss the one who does. But before we dive in, brother, hit that subscribe button right now. Not for me, for yourself. Because every week I bring you raw, unfiltered truths about women, love, and relationships that nobody else will dare to tell you. And this video could literally change the way you see women forever. Now let's get into it. 1. She finds excuses to be around you. Brother, let me take you into a story. Imagine you're walking into your favorite coffee shop in downtown New York. Maybe it's Starbucks. Maybe it's a small local cafe. You grab your cappuccino, sit down, and suddenly you see her. That girl you've been noticing for a while. And strangely enough, she seems to be there almost every time you are. Coincidence? Maybe once. But when it happens again and again, it's not coincidence, brother. It's intention. When a woman secretly loves you, she will not always come out and say it. Women in Western culture, whether in Los Angeles, London, or Sydney, are very careful about protecting their pride. They don't want to seem desperate. They don't want to put themselves out there only to be rejected. So instead of confessing her feelings, she engineers opportunities to cross your path. She'll accidentally bump into you at the gym. She'll suddenly become interested in that same book you once mentioned. She'll walk the long way home just to pass by your street. Why? Because in her heart she's craving proximity. Women are planners. They don't just happen to be somewhere. If she's around you often, she is finding excuses to orbit your world. Think about this. Women in college don't suddenly sit next to the same guy in lectures by accident. A woman at work doesn't conveniently take her lunch break at the same time as you without thought. She is aligning her schedule with yours because she secretly wants more. Here's the mistake most men make. They misinterpret it. They think, oh, she's just friendly. She just happens to like this spot too. No, brother. Women protect their energy. They don't invest it in men who don't matter. Let me share something powerful with you. Studies in female psychology show that when a woman is emotionally interested in a man, her brain actually releases dopamine when she's in his presence. That dopamine becomes addictive. She wants to feel it again and again, so she unconsciously finds ways to be close to him. Now think about the girl who texts you out of nowhere. Hey, are you going to that event? Or the one who says, oh wow, you're here too. I didn't expect to see you. Brother, she expected it. She created it. That is her way of saying, I want to be in your world, even if I can't tell you outright. Ask yourself, have you had a girl in your past who always ran into you? That girl from college who always seemed to study at the same library table? That coworker in Chicago who always ended up in the same meetings or asked to collaborate with you? At the time, you may have brushed it off. But looking back, wasn't it too precise to be random? That was her heart speaking in silence. Women know that men don't always pick up subtle signals. That's why they place themselves in your orbit again and again, hoping you'll connect the dots, hoping you'll see her effort, hoping you'll finally realize she's not just showing up, she's showing up for you. So here's the rule, brother. When a woman makes time for you, when she puts herself in your space, don't dismiss it as luck. Understand that women rarely waste their presence. If she's around you more than once by accident, she is secretly choosing you. 2. Her eyes betray her feelings. Brother, let me tell you something that will change how you see women forever. The eyes don't lie. You can fake a laugh. You can fake politeness. You can fake interest. But the one thing no human being can fake, especially a woman in love, is what happens in the eyes. Picture this. You're sitting in a bar in downtown London with some friends. The music is playing. The conversations are flowing. Across the room, you catch her gaze. For a split second, her eyes lock onto yours. And in that instant, something happens. You feel the spark. But the moment you look back, she glances away nervously, pretending she wasn't staring. Brother, that wasn't random. That was her soul revealing what her lips are too afraid to say. When a woman secretly loves you, her eyes give her away. She will look at you when she thinks you're not watching. She'll study your face when you're speaking. She'll light up the moment you walk into the room. These are subconscious actions. She doesn't control them. They're driven by biology. Here's the science. When a woman is attracted to a man, her pupils dilate. Her eyes widen. She becomes hyper-aware of your presence. Even if she wants to play it cool, her body betrays her. That's why psychologists often say, if you want to know the truth, don't listen to the words, study the eyes. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how a woman stares at you a second too long? How she looks at your lips when you're talking? How she quickly looks away, almost embarrassed, when you catch her? That's attraction in raw form. Now here's the deeper layer. Women often communicate with their eyes instead of their mouths because it feels safer. In English-speaking cultures like America and the UK, women are taught not to be too forward. So instead of telling you she likes you, she lets her eyes linger, silently begging you to understand. And brother, don't underestimate the power of eye contact. In psychology experiments, when two strangers stared into each other's eyes for 4 minutes straight, many reported feeling a deep emotional connection. Some even fell in love. That's how powerful the eyes are. So if a woman is holding your gaze, if her eyes sparkle when you speak, if she keeps looking back at you across the room, believe me, it's not random. It's her unspoken confession. But here's where most men fail. They're blind. They don't notice it. They're too distracted by their phone, their drink, their own insecurities. And by the time they realize the truth, she's already walked out of their life. Brother, let me share a story. A friend of mine in Los Angeles once told me about a girl he used to see at his gym. She would always look at him, not just a glance, long lingering stares. He thought, nah, she's probably just looking around. Months went by, and he never acted on it. One day she stopped coming. Later, he found out she had moved to another city, and he told me with regret in his voice, I think she liked me, but I missed it. Don't be that man. Don't ignore the silent signals written in her eyes. Brother, the eyes are a mirror of the heart, and when a woman secretly loves you, her eyes will scream it even if her mouth stays silent. Watch carefully. Look beyond the words, because her eyes will always tell you the truth. 3. She remembers the smallest details about you. Brother, let me ask you something straight. How many times have you told a woman something small, something random, and she remembered it months later? Maybe you told her your favorite band is Coldplay. Maybe you once mentioned you like your tea with 2 sugars, not 1. Or perhaps you said your grandmother lives in Manchester. Then one day, out of nowhere, she brings it up again. That, brother, is not coincidence. That is love hiding in plain sight. When a woman secretly loves you, she locks the smallest details about you into her memory. Why? Because love sharpens focus. Women are emotional creatures, and when their heart chooses a man, their mind starts filtering the world through him. Every small detail becomes valuable. Think about it. A woman in London might have a dozen conversations in one day, with friends, with colleagues, with strangers at Pret a Manger. But the one conversation that sticks in her mind is yours. She replays it in her head like a favorite song. She remembers your laugh, the way you move your hands when you explain something, even the way you pronounce certain words. Why does she remember? Because in her heart you are special. And brother, let me tell you, when you're special to a woman, she notices things you didn't even notice about yourself. Let me give you a story. My friend Ethan from Birmingham once told me about a girl at his university. One night he casually mentioned he used to play guitar in high school. He didn't think much of it. Months later, during a campus party, that girl came up to him and said, I found a playlist of acoustic songs. Thought you'd love it since you play guitar. Ethan was shocked. He didn't even remember saying it. But she did. That's how women's minds work when they secretly love you. They build a mental library of you. They collect fragments of your life like treasures. And here's the beautiful but dangerous truth. Women don't just remember facts. They remember emotions. If you once told her about your painful breakup in New York, she won't forget the tone of your voice when you said it. If you shared how your father took you fishing when you were 10, she'll hold on to the picture of little you with pride. Brother, you need to understand. Men often underestimate this. They think women are forgetful, caught up in their own worlds. But the opposite is true. If she loves you, she's tuned into you like a radio station only she can hear. Now here's the twist. Women don't just remember details to impress you. They remember because it makes them feel connected. To a woman in love, those details are threads. Threads that tie her to you, even when you're not around. That's why she'll text you out of nowhere. Hey, did you watch that Arsenal game? I know you support them, or she'll show up with your favorite chocolate bar from Tesco, smiling like it's nothing. But to her, it's everything. So here's the rule, brother. If a woman remembers things no one else notices, if she brings up the tiniest fragments of your life, don't ignore it. That's not just friendliness. That's affection disguised as memory. Because when a woman secretly loves you, her mind becomes your mirror. She reflects back the pieces of you that even you forget. And in doing so, she's whispering silently, I see you. I hear you. I love you. 4. She gets jealous without admitting it. Brother, let's talk about one of the most revealing signals a woman can give. Jealousy. Not the loud, dramatic kind where she shouts or makes a scene. No, I'm talking about the quiet jealousy, the one she tries to hide but can't. When a woman secretly loves you, she feels threatened by other women around you, even if she never says it out loud. Picture this. You're at a pub in Manchester with some mates. She's there too, sitting a few seats away. You start talking to another girl at the bar, just casual conversation. Suddenly the energy shifts. She doesn't smile as much. She looks away. Maybe she starts chatting with another guy just to distract herself. That, brother, is jealousy in its purest form. Women are masters at hiding their emotions in public, but love always leaks through the cracks. When her heart is invested in you, seeing you give attention to another woman feels like losing oxygen. She won't admit it because that would expose her feelings, but her actions will reveal the truth. Let me share a story. My friend Daniel in New York had this girl who always hung out with his group. She was cool, always laughing at his jokes, always finding reasons to text him. But one night, Daniel danced with another girl at a club. Suddenly, the first girl became cold. She left early, saying she wasn't feeling well. Later, she confessed, I hated seeing you with her. I don't even know why, brother, she knew why. It was love disguised as jealousy. Here's the psychology behind it. Women are territorial with their emotions. If she secretly loves you in her mind, you belong to her even if you've never dated. It's not about control. It's about fear. Fear of losing the man she's quietly invested in. Fear of another woman discovering the same thing she sees in you. Jealousy shows up in subtle ways. Maybe she suddenly asks, so who's that girl you were talking to? Or she makes a joke like, wow, you have so many female friends, don't you? These aren't random comments. They're probes. She's testing the waters, trying to see if she has competition. Sometimes it's even quieter. Maybe her smile fades for just a moment when another girl hugs you. Maybe her voice changes when she asks about your weekend plans. Maybe she posts a picture with another guy just to see how you react. Brother, those are not coincidences. Those are jealousy signals. But here's the powerful part. Jealousy is not always bad. It's proof of emotional investment. If she didn't care, she wouldn't react. If she didn't secretly love you, she wouldn't even notice. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever had a girl in your life who seemed to get distant whenever you talked about another woman? At the time, you might have thought she was being moody. But now looking back, wasn't it clear? She was guarding her heart. And brother, don't mistake jealousy for weakness. In fact, jealousy reveals vulnerability. Women who secretly love you often hide it because they fear rejection. So jealousy slips out as the one emotion they can't fully control. So here's the rule. When a woman gets quietly jealous around you, pay attention. It's not just insecurity. It's her heart whispering, I want you for myself, but I can't say it yet. Because when a woman secretly loves you, her jealousy becomes her confession. A confession she'll never say out loud, but one her actions scream every time you talk to another girl. 5. She mirrors your behavior without realizing it. Brother, let me ask you something simple. Have you ever noticed a woman copying you without even knowing it? Maybe you crossed your arms and suddenly she crossed hers. Maybe you said a certain phrase and days later, she said it back to you in the exact same tone. Or maybe you leaned back in your chair at a cafe in London, and within seconds she leaned back too. That's not an accident. That's psychology. That's love sneaking out in a way she can't control. When a woman secretly loves you, she starts to mirror your behavior unconsciously. Psychologists call it the chameleon effect. It's a natural way humans connect. But when love is involved, the effect is amplified. Because here's the truth. When a woman's heart is invested, she wants to feel in sync with you. Mirroring is her way of aligning herself with your energy. Think about it. You're walking down a street in New York. telling her a story about your childhood. Without even noticing, she matches your pace. You laugh, she laughs. You raise your voice, hers follows. It feels natural, but brother, it's her heart saying, I'm with you. I belong in your rhythm. Let me share a story. My friend James in London told me about a girl he used to study with. He noticed that whenever he pulled out his phone to check messages, she'd pull hers out too, even if no one had texted her. When he started drinking sparkling water instead of soda, she did the same the next week. One day he asked her why and she blushed. That's when he realized she wasn't just copying him. She was in love with him. Brother, this is powerful because mirroring is not about the action, it's about the connection. If she copies your gestures, your words, even your habits, it's because she wants to feel close to you. Her subconscious mind is telling her, match him, reflect him, show him you're his. Now here's where it gets deep. Women don't just mirror physical actions, they mirror emotions too. If you're happy, she lights up. If you're sad, she feels heavy. If you're excited about a dream in Manchester or Los Angeles, she'll match that energy as if it's her own dream. That's the strongest sign of all because it means her emotional world is tied to yours. Brother, let me make it even clearer. If a woman mirrors you, it's not because she's trying to manipulate. It's because she can't help it. Love rewires behavior, and when she's secretly in love, her body and mind betray her feelings. So here's the rule. When you see a woman reflect your gestures, copy your words or ride your emotional waves, it's not coincidence. It's her silent confession. It's her heart telling you without words, I'm in tune with you. I'm connected to you, and I don't want to let go. 6. She supports you in ways that others don't. Brother, let me ask you a question. How many people in your life truly support you when you're at your lowest? Not when you're shining, not when the money is flowing, not when everyone claps for you, but when you're broken, when you're lost, when you feel invisible. That's the test of love. And when a woman secretly loves you, she supports you in ways no one else does. This support doesn't always look dramatic. It's not about grand gestures. It's about presence, about being there in quiet, unseen ways, about lifting you when the world pushes you down. Picture this. You're a man in London struggling with work stress. Maybe your boss just tore you apart in front of the whole office. You feel crushed. Most people don't notice, but she does. She texts you later, I know today was tough. Just remember you're stronger than you think. Brother, that's not just kindness. That's love disguised as support. Or imagine you're chasing a dream in New York, but you keep hitting walls. Everyone else tells you to give up. But she looks you in the eyes and says, I believe in you. Don't stop now. That's not friendship. That's a heart that's tied to yours. My friend Michael in Los Angeles once told me a story. He was broke, living in a tiny apartment eating instant noodles every night. Most people laughed at him. But there was one girl who never judged. She'd come over with groceries, sit with him, and remind him that his dreams mattered. Years later, when he finally made it, he realized her support was love in its purest form. Brother, you need to understand this. When a woman supports you in silence, when she stands by you when no one else does, that's a clear sign her heart belongs to you, because women don't invest in men they don't care about. If she's giving you her energy, her encouragement, her faith, it's because she's secretly in love. But here's the twist. Sometimes her support shows up in small, hidden ways. She notices when you're tired and says, you should rest. She reminds you of your strengths when you forget. She sends you a song she knows will lift your mood. She asks about your goals in Manchester, not because she cares about the city, but because she cares about you. That, brother, is deeper than attraction. That's emotional investment. Now let me ask you, how many times have you overlooked this? How many times did you think she was just being nice? But now looking back, wasn't it clear? She cared more than anyone else. She supported you not because she had to, but because she wanted to. So here's the truth. When a woman supports you in ways that others don't, she's showing you her love. A love she might never say out loud, but one that screams through her actions. Because when a woman secretly loves you, she becomes your quiet strength. She sees the man you are, but more importantly, she sees the man you can become. And brother, if you ever find that kind of support, don't take it for granted. That's not just care. That's love, raw and unspoken. Or she gets jealous in subtle ways. Brother, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed a woman acting just a little different? When you talk to another girl, she doesn't say anything direct. She doesn't start a fight, but her tone shifts, her eyes change, and suddenly she's quieter than usual. That, my friend, is jealousy, but the subtle kind. And when a woman gets jealous in subtle ways, it's a strong sign she secretly loves you. Picture this. You're in Manchester at a friend's birthday party. You're laughing with a girl you just met, maybe telling her a funny story about work. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice another woman, the one who's always been close to you. She's not smiling as much. She's looking at her drink, stirring it even though it doesn't need stirring. She's not angry, but something has shifted. That's not random. That's her heart showing its cards. You see, brother, jealousy is not always loud. It's not always about shouting or arguments. In fact, the strongest jealousy is often silent. It's in the pause before she answers you. It's in the way her body turns slightly away. It's in the way her laughter fades the moment another woman enters the conversation. These are signals she doesn't even realize she's giving, and those signals scream one truth. I care about you more than I should. I wish you were mine. Let me tell you a story. My friend Daniel from London told me about a girl he worked with. They were just friends, at least that's what he thought. But every time he mentioned another woman, whether it was a date in Soho or a colleague from work, her mood shifted. She'd ask quick questions, then suddenly change the topic. She didn't attack him, but her energy gave her away. Later, he realized she had feelings all along. The jealousy was the clue. Now, brother, let's go deeper. Why does this matter? Because jealousy reveals attachment. If she didn't care about you, she wouldn't care who you talk to. She wouldn't notice if another girl laughed at your jokes. She wouldn't shift her energy when you mention a night out in New York with someone else. But if she secretly loves you, every little detail cuts deep. She won't admit it out loud, but her reactions will tell you everything. Here's what you need to understand. Women express jealousy differently. Some become quiet, withdrawing into themselves. Others become playful, making sarcastic jokes like, "Oh, looks like you found a new favorite." Some get a little competitive, suddenly trying harder to get your attention, dressing up more, laughing louder at your jokes, or sending you messages late at night. All of it comes from the same place, fear of losing you to someone else. Brother, think about it like this. You're sitting in a cafe in New York with a group of friends. You start talking to one of the girls at the table about your favorite movies. She leans in, she's engaged, she's laughing. But then you notice other woman, the one who always seems to be around for you. She's on her phone, pretending to scroll, but her eyes flick up every few seconds. She's listening. She's watching. She doesn't say it, but inside she's thinking, why isn't that me? Why is he giving her the attention I want? That's jealousy in its rawest form. Quiet, hidden, powerful. But here's where most men get it wrong. They mistake subtle jealousy for indifference. They think, she didn't say anything, so it must not matter. Wrong, brother. If she didn't care, she wouldn't notice. Indifference is silence with no emotion. Jealousy is silence with heat underneath it. And if you're wise enough, you'll feel the difference. Now let's talk about the psychology behind it. Jealousy is rooted in fear, fear of losing what you desire. So when a woman secretly loves you, and she sees another woman close to you, her heart panics. Her mind starts creating little scenarios. What if he likes her more? What if I lose my chance? What if she sees what I see in him? And that fear leaks out in her body language, her tone, her small reactions. Think about Emma in Los Angeles, who told me once about her best friend. She had feelings for him but never confessed. Every time he mentioned another girl, she'd feel her chest tighten. She'd try to act normal, but her replies became shorter, her jokes less frequent. Years later, she admitted, her jealousy was the clearest sign she loved him, even when she was too scared to say it. Brother, let me make this practical for you. If you want to know if she secretly loves you, pay attention in social situations. Notice how she reacts when other women enter the picture. Watch her eyes, her smile, her energy. If it shifts, even slightly, you've just uncovered the truth. And here's the most important part. Don't confuse jealousy with toxicity. We're not talking about a woman who controls you, stalks you, or starts fights. That's unhealthy. We're talking about subtle jealousy, the kind that slips out because her heart cares too much. That kind of jealousy is not dangerous. It's revealing. It's her silent way of saying, you matter to me more than I want to admit. So remember this, brother. When she gets jealous in subtle ways, it's not about insecurity. It's about love. It's her heart's quiet confession, written in the language of silence, body language, and energy. And if you ever spot it, don't ignore it. Because jealousy, in its quietest form, might be the loudest sign that she's already yours, even if she hasn't said the words yet. Conclusion. So, brother, now you know, if a woman secretly loves you, she will do these 7 things. She'll find excuses to be near you. Her eyes will betray her. She'll remember the little things. She'll get jealous. She'll mirror your behavior. She'll open up her soul. And she'll find ways to touch you. Don't ignore these signs. Don't waste your time doubting or overthinking. Learn to see what's right in front of you. Because love doesn't always shout, it whispers. And the man who pays attention will hear it. So tell me, brother, have you seen these signs in your life? Have you missed them before? Drop your story in the comments, because your words might wake up another man to the truth. And if this video hit your heart, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned, because what I share here could change your love life forever. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.